Hello and welcome to the March 2020 update from Pennyhill Junction. Well, it's been 7 months since the last update on the channel, so I'm going to spend a moment just bringing you up to speed on what's been happening during that time. So I'd love to say that I've spent the last 7 months working on the layout, and I've got lots of nice layout progress to share with you on this video, but unfortunately that's not the case. Many of you may have seen my most recent video, which was in fact a layout visit to New Junction, and I also during my time up at New Junction we held a live stream for about half an hour. So those of you who tuned into the live stream and also caught up on my last video will know a little bit about the delays in terms of releasing this update, but also what I've been up to over the last few months or so. So the biggest thing to happen to myself since the last update back in August was a new job. I did actually start that new job in August of last year, and I've pretty much been fully focused on that during that time. It took a good sort of 6 months or so to get sort of settled into the role, and it's pretty much been busy flat out ever since. Also, in addition to that, you may have heard on the live stream at New Junction, I did actually I've taken up another hobby, which started out about October of last year. So I have been a big fan of American football for a number of years, and I did actually play the game here in the UK back in 2004, so almost 16 years ago. And I decided, while I'm still just about young enough and healthy enough to continue to do so, I thought I'd have another crack at the sport. So around October time I started going to the first training sessions, and I've been doing that pretty much ever since, including obviously gym sessions in the evening to get obviously my strength and conditioning back. So with work and obviously the dedication to the new sport over the last sort of 6 or 7 months, that's where a lot of my focus has been. But anyway, going back to the model railway, because obviously that's what we're all here for, the visit to New Junction certainly helped bring back some of that lost motivation. I had no intentions to move away from the hobby 100%, although I was pondering a change yet again in terms of the layout itself. I was considering whether I wanted to actually come away from the loft layout and maybe do something on a smaller scale, maybe in a garden shed, purchase a small 8x6 shed and do something on a much smaller scale. But I was also considering changing eras. As you know, I currently run modern era, mainly GWR stock, but I was considering going back to BR post-privatisation, which would have been sort of late 80s, early 90s, BR Blue and Network Southeast. Something that was going to represent my local area in the late 80s, early 90s, when I sort of first got into the hobby of railways and model railways. But having the opportunity to run most of my modern day GWR stock up at New Junction's layout, as I said, it has given me that spark again to continue with the layout as originally planned. So since my last update back in August, I have passed the 3,000 subscriber mark, which is incredible. The channel's just over 3 years old, so to pass 3,000 subscribers is just unimaginable. I'd never in a million years thought I would have got to that volume of subscribers. So a huge thank you for your continued support on the channel, and obviously a big welcome to those new subscribers who have recently joined. So for those new subscribers in particular, if you haven't had the opportunity to look back through some of my video back catalogue, the layout that I have, which is obviously sitting behind me here, is a representation, or a loose representation, in terms of the main focal point of the layout, which is the main station, is a loose representation of Newton Abbot Station down on the Great Western Railway Riviera line. The either side of the station will be a little bit more sort of bespoke, custom. It will have some of the elements of Newton Abbot and the surrounding area, but a lot of it will be fairly original to this layout. In addition to that, and you'll see just starting to take shape behind me here, you'll see some of the track planning. There is a heritage line and station, which I'll come on to in a bit more detail shortly. But that heritage line and station again is another loose representation, but that's again down in the Devon area, the South Devon Railway to be specific, and a representation of Buckfastleigh Station. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a quick update on what progress there has been on the layout, which has been focused on the heritage line, and you'll see some of the plans that I have in place for the station, which I hope will continue over the next few weeks. And for my new subscribers, I'm just going to take a moment just to do a very brief tour of the layout, just so you can see it in all its I say all its glory. There's not much glory to it at the moment. It's primarily track and baseboard, but you can get a flavour of what my intentions are going forward. So anyway, so I hope you sit back and enjoy the video. Okay, so we're starting here over on the west end side of the layout, and you'll see where the track comes out of the fiddle yard. You'll see I've already made a start. I'm removing some of the old back scene from the previous layout, so all the back scenes across this layout will be changed over the coming months. So this, where there'll be obviously a scene break where it goes into the fiddle yard, there'll be a tunnel area here. This tunnel will have a road bridge over the top, and then there'll be almost like a T-junction here where the road will continue and then go back across the railway into that corner. In the foreground here will be just some terraced housing along here with a roadway just in front here, which will obviously be run along the front of the housing, but also will form an entrance into the heritage station. And as we continue to follow round into the station, you can already see one of the buildings will be going in this area. This is a village hall, so as the roadway comes out of the housing area, there'll be a village hall here before we move into a sort of retail industrial area at the back of the station. In terms of the station, as you can see, there's 3 lines that run through, and it will be displayed as it is at Newton Abbot Station in real life. This will be platform 3, 2, this will be platform 1. So most of the mainline services, high-speed services, will be coming through platforms 3 and 2, and more local services will come through on platform 1. Well, you can see the Class 66 parked up. That will be an abandoned or disused bay siding, similar to what exists today at Newton Abbot Station. So that, as you can see, is different track to what goes through the station. It's not the concrete sleeper, it's the new Pico bullhead track, but that will be all weathered up. It'll have old ballast and old grime and be overgrown with grass and foliage, etc. And I say will be primarily out of use. This little area just to the side here will be used by Network Rail, and they will have a small gate entrance to the side of the track there. So occasionally you will see, as with the 66 place there, you will see freight occasionally parked there with Network Rail employees gaining access to any parts that might be delivered into that base siding. And as we come out of the station into the west end side of the layout, you'll see now, which you won't have seen in any previous videos, is that we have this line. So similar to the base siding, this is the Pico bullhead track, and this is the start of the heritage line, which makes it a white round. So this area here primarily will be just a fairly rural scenic area. The plan is to have a river running through here, so this baseboard will be cut down, and then there'll be obviously banking on either side, and the river will flow through. The road which comes through the sort of business retail park will then come across here, and there'll be a bridge, road bridge over there into the back scene, and there'll be another bridge here as trains enter and exit the fiddle yard. The bridge or tunnel which I'm going to be doing here will be a representation of Parsons Tunnel, which is near Teignmouth on the Riviera line. So that will be an interesting build there. And then primarily the rest of this area will be sort of fairly scenic and mainly green, with trees and shrubbery, etc. And then we come through to the fiddle yard. So the fiddle yard is formed of 11 lanes, 11 through lanes, and we've got one small siding here, which is sufficient enough obviously to fit my little Class 08, but can also fit another loco on that siding as well. And then, as mentioned previously on the video, you can see here the track planning, some of the initial track planning for the heritage station. So I'll just pop a couple of images on the screen so you can get a vision of what it is I'm trying to achieve. I say it's not going to be a 100% representation, but I do want to try and get as close as I can with the skills that I have in terms of attempting to scratch build a lot of the items which will go into this area at some point in the not too distant future. So finally then, the heritage station track will continue. There will be some point work here allowing for a head shunt, but then the track will continue here. I'm also going to add a section of baseboard here to allow me to put in an extra siding, so I can have a small sort of steam engine shed in this corner here, and then that will overlap into the housing area here. Obviously they'll be fenced off, but this, I say, the housing area will finish off around here, and then you'll have the entrance and see some parking and maybe a little porter cabin area here for workers of the heritage station. Okay, so that's a look at the layout as a whole, and also where I'm at in terms of the heritage line and station, and obviously my plans over the coming weeks and months. One other thing that I'm planning to do, which should be out in the next few weeks or so, is a kit build video. So as part of the Heritage Station, I have this ratio kit, which is the ratio water tower, Great Western water tower. So I plan to do a video which will go through obviously the construction of the kit, but then I'll also be attempting to paint up and weather the kit as well. So that'll be my first attempt at weathering anything. So that should be interesting to see how that goes. So going forward then over the next few months or so, and pretty much the remainder of this year, my updates will be pretty much focused on the Heritage Station. So I won't be doing monthly updates. What I'll do is I'll just provide an update on the Heritage Station and the Heritage Line when I feel there's enough content in there to share with you, or enough progress on that section of the layout to share with you. And in between the updates on the Heritage Line and Station, I may continue to do some more types of videos, sort of kit build or even scratch build videos, if that's something that you're interested in. And obviously I'll see how the feedback is on this one, this first video, see what the response is before I make a decision on recording some more kit builds. And then following that, I hope to go to the Severn Valley Railway Spring Diesel Gala in mid-May, but given what's going on in the world currently and the difficult times that we're facing, the cancellation of many large gatherings globally, I think the likelihood of this event going ahead is very, very slim. So I guess all of us, we don't know as yet what the future holds in terms of when we will return to some sort of normality, or if we ever will return to normality. But I say, as and when things change, and if I do get the opportunity to get out and about and visit some exhibitions or go to some preserved railways for some of their various steam or diesel days, I will certainly update you either on this YouTube channel or through other forms of social media. But until then, I do hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it's been such a long wait for an update on the layout. But for now, it's just really time to say, everyone, obviously take good care of yourselves and obviously all your friends and loved ones during these difficult times. And I do hope to speak to you again very soon. All the best. Take care now.